What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode. Now, this is going to be the second part in a three-part tutorial series. The first part I kind of went over what I'm going to be doing through these next two videos, including this one. So for this actual video, we're going to go ahead and get our virtual machine set up so we can install Windows, and we can use it to go ahead and flash Odin, or whatever you want to go ahead and use Windows for. But for this, not necessarily this video, but the next video over, I will show you how to go ahead and get the Odin set up so then we can plug in our Android device to our computer and run it through. So run it from a computer on Linux, which is running a virtual machine, which is actually hosting Windows, which we have Odin running inside of it, if that makes sense. So we have a lot of steps, but it's actually pretty easy once we get everything kind of set up. So the first step's already done. We already have Linux installed. The next step, as you're going to see here, we're going to go ahead and add this little file, or this little line right here, to our software sources. So I'm going to do this kind of the long way, and that is by opening up the Ubuntu Software Center itself. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to make sure things are visual for people, because I do get quite a few messages about some of the simpler stuff, so I want to try to make it quite as easy as possible. So as you see, I've pulled up the Ubuntu Software Center. I need to go to Edit, go to Software Sources. I need to go to Other Software. I'm going to click Add, and I'm going to go ahead and add that. Now I already have mine added, so I'm not going to do that. You're just going to go ahead and press the Add button. You should be prompted to enter your password. So go ahead and enter in your password. As you can see, I have mine right here already pre-put in, because I've already have it all installed. I wanted to make sure things are working smoothly. Once that's done, you can go ahead and close that. Now I want to let you know that once you close that, you want to wait a few seconds, maybe as long as a minute, and this progress bar should kick on. And what it's doing is your whole system's kind of refreshing itself and letting it know that, hey, you just added a new source list, or a new source to your list. So giving it, your whole computer, getting it caught up to date. It only should take a quick second. So once that's done, you can go ahead and exit out of your software center. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take care of this line. Now for this one, we're going to need our terminal. Now since I already have it, I'm not going to download it. And all you can do is just copy and paste. I will have all these in the description, all these commands. And you can just copy and paste this command and stick it directly into your terminal, press enter, and again you should be prompted for your password. And what this is saying is, hey, go get the virtual box, and you want to go get it from, and it's telling your computer to go get it from this area. And so then it's also going to add its key, which is letting it know that it works and it's verified, should I say. So that's what that is saying there. If for some reason you try to do step 2 and you're saying wget is not installed, just simply type in sudo apt-get install wget. And that just means that you don't have this little command installed, and it's just it takes about 2 seconds to install. But majority of people should have that already pre-done. Now we're going to go to step 3. Now what we're going to do now is actually install the VirtualBox. Now, so how this command is working here, the sudo apt-get update, what that is doing is the same thing as how I told you your software center needed to update and let your whole computer do its understand that you've added a new thing. That's what sudo apt-get update is in a whole. So instead of doing it through the software center, we're doing it directly through the terminal, and we're saying, A, update it. We just added this, and now since we're updating a system, and after you've updated the system, go ahead and do this. And we're saying install the VirtualBox, which is the VirtualBox we're getting from this website. So that's all that's really saying right there. So once that's done, that should take a few seconds, depending on how fast your internet connection is. We're going to need to come down and do one more wget. Now, for some reason, if none of these are working, you might need to type in sudo before each one of these commands, just to give yourself root privileges. So what we're doing here now, we're going to go ahead and copy this. We're going to go ahead and paste it in. And just like from step 2, we're telling our computer to go get this extension pack for us. So that's all that's happening. Now, the final step is going to be kind of important, but we're going to do that in 2 seconds. What I want you to do first is you go ahead and open up your file manager, and you need to get into your home directory. So wherever your name is, whereas mine is my Twitter handle, you need to come in here, and after this command has ran, this step 4 is ran, you should have this Oracle Virtualbox right here, somewhere located in here, which is fine. So what we need to do now is you can just go ahead and double click that. It should open up and ask you to install it in your virtual machine, your virtual box. If for some reason it hasn't, go ahead and open up your virtual box, which you can go into your files, accessories, and down to virtual box. Open that once. You shouldn't have this right here. It should just be a complete blank canvas. Open it once and then come back into here and double click it if for some reason it didn't work. It just might need to start the program for one time through for it to all work. Once that is done, we can close that. We can close our virtual box as well. And we need to do this final step. Now this is going to be the important step. This is going to tell your computer to add USB host, I guess you should say, to the virtual box. So once I come in here, and you will see, let me go ahead and open this up real fast. If I go into my settings, I go down to my USB, you see I have two devices here. None of this is going to be enabled. You actually have to go ahead and, well, you might be able to enable it, but you shouldn't be able to add anything to it. And that is purely because this has not been done yet. Now, it's not just going to be a simple copy and paste. Where it says your username, you have to replace that with your username. So as mine is my Twitter handle, IamJParkinson, I would replace IamJParkinson right there. Go ahead and copy that, or just type it yourself. Throw it into the terminal, press enter. You might need to type your password again. Let it do its thing. It should take 2 seconds to run that, and you are all set and done. Once that is done, you can go ahead and exit out of that terminal again. You can exit out of all your files, and now you will need to open up your VirtualBox Manager. You'll need to go to, if you don't have the option to go to settings yet, you will need to get your Windows ISO file. You will click new. You will walk through that entire process of setting up your new, make sure you give yourself enough RAM. And what you can do is you can kind of see what I have set up right here. So I will do just a quick scroll through. So this is how mine is set up. So if you're having any, questions about what you should do, just, kind of stop that video right there. Look at that. Make sure it lines up with yours, and you should be okay. I've had 100% perfect time with mine. No problems whatsoever. But again, once you get your setup, you should also have yours, your ISO, your Windows ISO here. I named mine Win. You can name it whatever you'd like. Then you go into settings, go down to USB. You will enable USB controller, enable USB 2.0. And what I preferably like to do is I come in here, and after you've plugged in your USB device to your computer, I come over here and press the plus sign. Now you're going to see I have a few options to choose from. There's my mic that I'm speaking to right now. There's the mouse that I am using. I do have, I don't know what else is plugged in here. It looks, my webcam for some reason is getting picked up here. And an unknown source. But anyways, as you see, I have these items here. So if I wanted to, I can come in here and I can click my Go mic, which I'm not going to do right now because it's going to take the voice away. But I can click that and I can add it to here. So when I start my virtual machine, which I will do a quick start of it real fast. When I start my virtual machine and I plug something in, without adding it to this, without adding it to this list here, I would have to manually go down to the bottom once I've plugged it in, find it, click on it, and it will enable it into my virtual machine. Or I can come up to devices, go to USB devices, and do it that way. But since I have these already two pre-checked, what that does is when I plug in my device while I have my virtual machine open, wherever it's at, wherever it's opened, it will automatically connect it. And that's actually kind of important when we're doing certain things such as flashing Android devices, because you don't want to hesitate. The download mode on an Android device can be a little touchy at times. And so plugging it in and having to not only plug it into your your Linux and then rerouting it through to your Windows can sometimes, glitch it up a little bit. So what I've learned is I go ahead and add it. That's why I have my Samsung right there, which is Samsung Galaxy Note 3. For that device. And so every time I plug it in, it simply works. And I did the same thing with the scan disk. So I have two different USBs. I have one that I use just purely for my virtual box, and then I have my external hard drive, which I use for everything else. The reason I have that set up is because before I even start my virtual box, I will plug in my USB, just like I normally would. I can then go into my file manager, and what I do is I'll go find all the files that I want to go ahead and bring to my Windows PC, and I will drag them all onto that. Then I can exit out of here, and as soon as I start up Oracle by pushing the start, it'll automatically connect, and I can just open up the file manager and simply grab them and drag them to my desktop. Makes things a little bit easier and a little bit smoother for me. And so that's pretty much all it's going to be when it comes to setting up Oracle Virtualbox. Again, I am running this on Ubuntu 14.04, so do take that in consideration if you are having some issues. And that's about it. I will have all these in the description. Sorry, I will have all the exit out here. I will have all the links as well as how to, as well as links to downloading this type of stuff in the description. The reason being is just in case anything happens to a website, I want to make sure it's backed up. But I will tell you to either go through the terminal the way I said it, or if last case scenario, you can download the VirtualBox file and download it or install it that way. But just, do that as a last resort, because I don't want anybody complaining and telling me that I've given them some sort of problem to their computer. I'm taking these directly from the internet and putting them just into my into my cloud storage. So if anything happens in the future, I have access to them. And so I'll just grant access to everybody else if for some reason you cannot get to that website, like I was saying. And that's about it. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and keep a lookout for the next video, which I should have either in the next few hours or possibly in the next couple days, where I will have it set up to show you how to actually use Odin, which I have right here, and do get Odin 3.09, and we will use that within our VirtualBox, which is running Windows, and I will show you how to flash an Android device that way. It's actually pretty easy, pretty simple. The only real hard part is making sure that you have the right files for your Android device, because you can brick your device, you could continually go into that boot loop and never fix anything. You could blame it on this process when it's really not this, it's just you've downloaded the wrong files. And I'll tell you, I've done that myself, so don't feel that you're, by yourself in that category. Like I was saying earlier, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next video.